it occurred to me that not only is it the families, but not only is it the soldiers, but it's their families that have made the sacrifice to give these men and women away to their service of their country. And it dawned on me that there would be no better person to receive this flag than our own Mr. Phil Anderson, who has done 2 tours of duty. And we have special guests with us today, Phil and his wife, who is former Roncalli teacher, Michelle Zwilling Anderson, and her 2 kids, Lucas and Michaela, are with us. Michelle, if you wouldn't mind standing as well, let us acknowledge all the sacrifices you and your children are making, and Mr. Phil Anderson, our official recipient of our flag. Let's please welcome them. Stay standing here. Just stay standing. So I don't want to talk again. I have a very brief letter here from Colonel Joseph A. Bonich, Chief of Staff, United States Central Command, Camp Erjan, Kuwait. Dear Mr. Howell, this is to attest that the accompanying United States flag was flown above both Camp Victory in Iraq and Camp Erjan in Kuwait in support of both Operation Iraqi Freedom and Operation Enduring Freedom. Please accept this with our commendation for all the Roncalli family does. Signed, Joseph A. Bonich, Colonel, Chief of Staff. Jeannie, you may now present the flag to Mr. Anderson. Suspect most heroes are very reluctant to accept adulation and praise. I asked them and begged them both if they wouldn't mind saying just a bit to us, to the Roncalli family, about what it means to have family in the military. And at this time, I would like to invite Mrs. Bonich to the podium.
If he would be willing to share his sentiments with you today. And this is the letter I got back. To the students, faculty, staff, and administration of Roncalli High School, it is with great pride knowing that the American flag, which has been flown over Camp Victory in Iraq and Camp Erjan in Kuwait, is being presented to Roncalli High School today. This flag is being presented to you on behalf of every member of the Roncalli family that has previously served or is currently serving to protect our great nation. Roncalli alumni, teachers, parents, grandparents, and siblings. I have spent 30 years serving my country in the United States Army Reserves. I was called a weekend warrior because I had a full-time civilian job, and for much of my career was required to attend training and drills on weekends, and several weeks each year on annual training exercises. 20 years ago, before most of you were born, the conflict in the Persian Gulf was escalating, and as commander of the Army Reserve Airborne Unit, I knew that there was a very good chance that my unit was going to be called up to Operation Desert Storm, also now known as the Persian Gulf War. At the time, I had a 3-year-old son, Nicholas, and a new baby boy, Kevin. Every day I prayed to God that if I had to leave my young family, that the conflict would end quickly and I would return home safely. However, that call never came from me then. Fast forward to 2010, and the call came. It is now my time to serve my country and put 30 years of Army training into action. My daily prayer is still the same, for peace in this world and to return home safely to my family. But to that prayer, I add my thanksgiving for the time that I have had to raise my sons and watch them grow up, to see them compete as utility titans in Roncalli Royals, to see my son Kevin go off to Ball State University, to watch my son Nick graduate from Indiana University, get married this past May, and adding a wonderful daughter-in-law Liza to our family. I am blessed. And I am reminded daily that I was one of the lucky ones that got to experience all of that before my call to duty came. Many soldiers who are serving aren't there for the birth of their baby or their toddler's first steps, their child's first day of school, their son's first snap of a football, a teenager's first prom, graduations, or walking a daughter down the aisle on her wedding day. And in today's armed forces, sometimes it is the mom that is a soldier and is called to duty. And suddenly her husband is left behind to become Mr. Mom. A soldier may also be called to duty multiple times, therefore calling upon the family to make the necessary sacrifices yet again. That is why I commend the soldiers such as Mr. Phil Anderson, whose young family has had to sacrifice far more than my family has. Mr. Anderson, thank you for your service and to your wife for supporting your soldier. I also want to thank the freshman football team for your cards, prayers, and well wishes. It was a nice surprise and really meant the world to me. Each week I got a play-by-play of your game from your assistant coach, Kevin, and I look forward to meeting you next summer and watching you play in that Rebel uniform. To Mr. Gary Armbruster and the Rebel Media Network, thank you for providing the coverage of the varsity games. Many Friday nights I set my alarm so I could get up at 2 a.m. to listen to the Rebels. Or I would have the opportunity to listen to the podcast the next week. Some of the soldiers thought I was crazy, but having that opportunity brings a little bit of home back to the desert for me. I also look forward to listening to the Roncalli Rebel basketball games this winter. Someone asked me what I missed most besides my family while being deployed. I immediately said, I am having Rebel withdrawals. Thank goodness for the internet. I also miss a real shower, my own bed, green grass, rain, and M&Ms. It's still pretty hot and now humid, so chocolate melts in all the care packages that we receive. I live in a metal container that is equivalent to a moving pod with a cot. Our metal quarters are now affectionately referred to as kernels in a can. The bathroom facilities are down the road and are communal, so there's no privacy and many times to wait in line. I have over a mile walk to and from my job every day as Chief of Staff at the United States Central Command Deployment and Distribution Operations Center at Camp Aerobaton. It is our mission to ensure that all the equipment and personnel are in place to support all of our soldiers in Iraq and Afghanistan. My job also requires me to travel to several of the countries in the region and encounter many soldiers from all parts of our country who are all here for the same goal, to serve our country proudly and to return home safely. The long walk to the warehouse every day gives me time to reflect and pray. And each night before I close my eyes, I thank God for my loving and supportive family that makes this year long separation beautiful. As I reflect on this Veterans Day, I am especially aware of all the soldiers who have served our country before me, and for all the soldiers who are now serving with me. I am most appreciative to my own father, who was a World War II veteran and a Purple Heart recipient. And I remember in prayer all of the fallen heroes. Those are the soldiers who have lost their life while serving our country, the ultimate sacrifice. As you reflect on what Veterans Day means to you, remember what the American flag represents for all of us. It represents the freedoms that we fight for that make us one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless each and every one of you, Colonel Joe Bonich, United States Army. Thank you.